G'day all, it's Colin from PC TLC and thanks for joining me. Well, we're in the desktop of Linux Mint Debian Edition. I'm going to install this for the second time. I've already installed it once. I installed it over Arco Linux, dual booting with Ubuntu, but for some reason it's not starting. So I don't know what I've done wrong with the install. The error that I got is what I'll show on the screen now. So for some reason it's not booting and it's not starting, and I got an error, and this is the error that I got. The root device is not configured to be mounted, read write. It may be FSCKD again later. Root device mounted successfully, but SBIN init does not exist. Bailing out, you're on your own. Good luck. All right, so anyway, let's get on with the install and see if I can do this right. I have to say the installer for LMDE is looking pretty slick. I'm not sure if this is the same installer as the latest Linux Mint, but it looks quite slick anyway, I must say. So welcome to the LMDE installer. This program will ask you some questions and set up LMDE on your computer. So let's go. English Australia. I'm in Perth. English Australian. Okay, so let's go next. Now we've got we can choose the disk that we want to select, or we can go manual partitioning, which is what I did on the first one. And let's just, can we, maybe it doesn't full screen, there we go. So now we can see that we have the partitions here and here, LMD for Debbie. That was before it was Arco Linux. I've got Arco running on another computer, so that's all good. So double click this one here. We're going to mount point root and format as ext4, which is what I did previous. Now I'd have to think that the hang up here would have to be this one here. I didn't touch this. I just went next and then chose SDA1 here. But maybe what I should have done is this one here. And format as, see, I've got Ubuntu using this EFI as well. So it's mount point EFI. So we'd have to format as FAT32, or probably FAT, or VFAT, probably FAT, I think. So let's click OK on that and click next. Oh, it must be formatted as VFAT. Okay. VFAT, there we go. Okay, and next, install the grub boot menu on, well, the grub boot menu would have to be on SDA1, wouldn't it? But I didn't touch this one before, so that will be the difference. And probably what I'll have to do is run OS Prober and update grub on Linux Mint Debian, because that's what I had to do on Ubuntu. I installed LMDE. It wasn't showing in the menu and all that, so I may have to do the same thing. So I'm sure I still have to select that one, which is what I normally do. But we are talking Debian here. So mount dev SDA1. SDA1 is VFAT. Format SDA3 and mount dev SDA3. So let's install that. And let's see how we go. Okay, so that is the install complete. Hopefully I have a bit more success this time, and we'll see you in hopefully a installed desktop. Okay, so here we are again on another live desktop environment. Last install again, that's 2 failed installs. Well, 2 installs went all right, but it's not booting. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Maybe a hardware incompatibility or of some kind. Australia Perth, English Australian. Manual partitioning. So we're going to go here. We'll format that again. That's root. That's my root partition. Oops. Let's do that again. ext4 OK. Boot partition, format as a VFAT, it's EFI boot, yep, okay, and next, I'm just going to leave that as dev SDA instead of SDA1. What happens if we uncheck that? I'm not sure. Let's try and uncheck that. I'm going to uncheck that completely, because the reason why I'm doing that is because we've already set SDA1 up as the boot. So things work differently depending on the installer. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing Linux. There's just some things that, I don't know, you just got to trial and error sometimes. So I think I'll uncheck that and not install to anything and see what happens with that. And failing that, we'll come in for a 4th install and try SDA. So let's see how we go with that. Let's install that. Okay, so that's the installation complete. Hopefully we have some better luck this time. So here we are in the installed desktop of Linux Mint Debian Edition. All has gone well. Unchecking the device dev SDA, just unchecking that spot there was what actually works. So just checking, doing the EFI, boot EFI was good enough. I didn't have to do anything on that extra step. So unchecking it was the right thing to do. So let's have a look here. This should follow very much the same as Linux Mint Ubuntu base. So we've got the welcome here. Welcome to your new operating system. It'll guide you through your first steps, show you how to find help and where to get more information about Linux Mint. So first steps, snapshots. Well, actually, do we do this now or do we update first? I don't know. Let's launch the snapshot. I'm gonna use snapshot this time. I need to give this snapshot tool a bit more of a try. So we've got 52.1 gigs available. So time shift is active, 0 snapshots. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what we do next, to be honest. Donate, about, view, time shift logs, settings, location, daily, keep 5 levels. Daily is probably maybe, I'm going to try weekly instead of daily. Okay. So that has been done. So that's the time shift done. Let's just check that out again. Let's go to time shift and check it out what it's doing. I don't know if it's done anything. I don't know whether I was meant to take a snapshot there or not. I don't know. So it's actually active. Snapshots will be created at selected intervals. Okay, let's leave it at that then. Multimedia codecs, let's do that. Install additional software. Install. Let's see if we can see what it's installing. Let's show the individual files, W64 codecs, GStreamer, and all that stuff. You could probably slow that down on the video if you wanted to. You could get to see what it's installing, but it looks like all the standard codecs that you would expect for a Debian base. So now we've got the update manager. Security, welcome to the update manager. Okay, and it reminds you to set up system snapshots to protect yourself from mistakes and regressions. Okay, so switch to a local mirror. Yes, I always do that on Linux Mint. Find my fastest mirror. 833 seems to be the top speed today. And this one here as well. 1.5, that's a good speed. Not much else coming up. There we go. It's a bit slow. The Debian one seems to be quite okay anyway. That's okay that, and it'll update that. And then no doubt we'll have some updates pending. So that's my repositories sorted out for the closest and fastest mirrors. So let's close that. Your system is up to date. Let's do a refresh. And we have some updates there. So let's do that. And as you can see down the bottom here on the panel, you can see the progress bar within the little window icon there. Little progress bar on the icon list. So there's the progress bar again in the icon window list or icon list or whatever it's called there. So that comes in handy if you're working on something else and you're focusing, you can look down there and see what the progress is. So we are up to date. Then we've got the, so we've done the update manager, desktop layout. Well, it's on modern already and I'm going to keep it on modern. System settings, let's launch that. And that's the same as going here and there, and it will tell you at the bottom right hand corner of the menu that that is the system settings, also known as the control center. So that's how you get to that. We got themes here. No doubt they'll have a few themes in there, although the window borders, they don't have a lot of themes for that lately, I must say. So must be a change coming up to, well, it's only Mint X, Mint Y Dark. Okay. Software Manager, we can launch that. And we can start installing the software that we want to install. And remembering we got Flatpak support out of the box as well. And then you got your firewall. So let's have a look at that. And all you need to do is check this off and firewall will be up and running. If you got local network where you can't access things, it'll probably be because of the firewall and you'd have to put in some rules for that. So just keep that in mind. So that's your first steps. That's a quick rundown through the first steps. That's all complete. So let's have a look at the documentation. Linux Mint documentation consists of a collection of guides available in PDF, EPUB and HTML and available in many languages. Click the button below to see which guides are available. So let's do that. So there's the installation guides there, and you've got all the available languages there. So that's handy. And then we have release notes. Click the button below to read about known bugs, limitations, and workarounds for this version of Linux Mint. So let's go to there, and we have a link directly to the release notes. So that's very handy as well. Then we got help. We've got the web forums, the IRC chat room, and then you've got contribute, where you can contribute or make a donation to the Linux Mint project. And that is our welcome screen gone through. So it's not overwhelming. It just does most of the basic things needed to get started. So that's pretty handy. Let's have a look at desktop backgrounds. Right click and choose change desktop background. So they have, as Linux Mint normally do, the previous installations and their backgrounds. You can add your own if you wish. And there's always some nice wallpapers in Linux Mint. So just having a look at graphics, we've got drawing, pics, and simple scan. Internet, we have Firefox, HexChat, Thunderbird, and Transmission. LibreOffice there, and Calendar. Sound and video, we've got Celluloid, Rhythmbox, and I installed Simple Screen Recorder. And that's pretty much what we've got out of the box. So very minimal for the LMDE, which is good. Then you can just add whatever applications you wish to add for yourself. Let's have a quick look at Nemo, Help and About, and Nemo is 4.4.2. And we'll have a quick look at uname-r and see what kernel we're running, 4.19. So as is usually the case, Debian is normally a bit behind on the kernel. So let's go to the settings and see if there's anything in here that stands out. So here we have system info, LMDE for Debi, Cinnamon version 4.4.8, 4.19 kernel, and some of my system specs there, a graphics card. We can upload system information. I will do that. It's install on real hardware, so I'm happy to do that. We got a link to software sources here. You can add additional repositories, and you've got your maintenance, which is fix merge list problems, purge residual configuration, remove duplicate entries, add missing keys, remove foreign packages, and downgrade foreign packages. So the rest is pretty much what you would find in a Linux Mint Ubuntu based distro. Just interested to see what the LibreOffice version is. Help and about. 6.152. I think we're up to about 6.43 or something like that. Just let me have a quick look on my Arco Linux laptop here. And on my Arco Linux laptop, we are 6.4.2.2. So we've got a little exclamation down here. Some problems were detected which require your attention. Install language packs. I won't do that now. So let's have a quick look in software. I'm going to have a look at what Blender they have in here. The versions. 2.79. I think I'm up to 2.8 or 2.82 or something. So we've got a flat hub there, which has, where's the version number for flat hub? There we go. 2.81a. That's probably okay. And then there's this one here. Exporter, I'm not quite sure. Object Oriented Graphics Rendering Engine. GIMP is 2.10.8. So the packages are reasonably up to date. It's not too bad. You wouldn't expect the Debian base to be up with the latest packages, that's for sure. But they're probably at a point where they're good enough for a little while anyway. And being based on a Debian Buster, it's going to be rock solid and stable and shouldn't be any issues at all really, because it doesn't update with bleeding edge kernels or anything like that. So you should remain probably on the 4.19 kernel for a while, I would think, on here. Now so far everything seems to be working out of the box. Chuck in a USB, simple screen recorder's working, USB's working, so no problem there. So my microphone's working, my headphones are working, so all sound seems to be working, so that's all pretty good. So it seems to be no problems there whatsoever. So we'll just eject that. Device can be removed. And we've got a notification here that's popped up, and that was our notification for removing the device. So clear notifications, done. Okay, so dragging the window up puts it in halfway mode like that. So if you want to not do it that way, we need to go to settings, go to window tiling, and maximize instead of tile when dragging a window to the top edge. Turn that on, and that should sort us out like so. So I'm going to quickly download a theme and see how Linux Mint is handling some GTK themes these days. I've got the Quagga theme here, which is my favorite. So I'm just going to download the Quagga Win and the Quagga Win Dark. So I'm going to download those two. So that one there, and the Quagga, yep, save file, and the Quagga Win Dark, save file. Alright, so that's complete, and we'll go to our home, right click, show hidden files, and we've got .themes already, that's handy. So let's cut and paste them into .themes and extract here. It's only extracted one. Okay, so there's the both there. Just make sure that that's the actual file, yep, or the folder. So let's go to settings, themes, Now they are coming up as selection here, which I don't know whether that's going to work or not, but we can certainly try. Yeah, see that there? It doesn't show properly. That's the problem. Everything else will probably work okay. See, the bar looks really nice, and that looks nice. I like that. We can go for controls. What have we got so far? Controls, we can go Quagga Win. Actually, I just want the Quagga Win is the best one. Quagga Win. So it has a bit of darkness there, but it's not completely dark. And now we've got the top one there. So so what changes that? Selecting these ones, is it? So if I change that back to Mint Y, which would have been the green one. So that, okay, so you've got to change the controls for that to show up. That's how that's working now. Okay, so that's got a little white border around it. Let's just try the Win Dark. Yeah, that looks a bit better anyway, I must say. Let's hide the hidden files. So I quite like that anyway, it looks nice. That looks pretty good. Terminal looks pretty good. So everything seems to be looking okay. Software, settings and software seems to come up pretty well with the Quagga theme. So there's no problems there. Looks pretty nice. Change desktop background. Let's see if we can choose something else here. Well, that's pretty stunning, I must say. That's quite nice. I like that. Let's keep that for now. And in here we have a backup tool as well. Let's just check that out. So then now come with a backup tool. Now this must be in the normal Ubuntu based Linux Mint as well, I would say, and a software selection. And you can back that up. So that's back up now. Please select where you want to save the backup file. So what are we saving? Personal data, your file settings and the content of your home directory. Okay. And software selection, the list of applications. So that's let's do something here. Let's go to hidden files, themes. Let's put them back into downloads. Paste that. Okay, so let's back up now. And it's going to go to backups. And where would that be? Where's backups? In documents, that's where it is. Okay, so let's do that. Forward, documents backup. Please add files or directories to the list below to exclude them from the backup. Oh, so documents backup. So that's the backup folder. So you don't want that in there. So that's got to be excluded. So that's forward that. So hidden files and hidden folders located at the root of your home directory are not included by default. If you want to include some of them in the backup, please add them to the list below. So if we wanted to include, say, .themes, open. Yep. Include files. Sorry, I'm trying to add a file into a directory. Duh. So we can go .themes and open that. Okay, and we could go .icons even though I haven't done anything there, and we can include files if you wanted to include files, which I was trying to do with folders before. Downloads and that, so you could choose that. It's downloads, so that's a file. Okay, let's remove that. Okay, let's apply that. The following errors occurred. Backup now. Save the backups. Exclude that one. Forward. We don't really want those in there, so that's remove and apply. Some files were not saved, only 0 files were backed up out of 3. Oh, because I'm recording, that's why. Okay, alright, so that's probably why I was recording. So I'm recording this video, so that's why it's struggling with that. That's fair enough, that probably it's understandable. So that's back up the software. Simple screen recorder, yep. So it'll detect whatever software you have installed. That's the only thing I've installed. And you can go forward. Your software selection was saved in home documents, blah, blah, blah. So let's have a look. Documents, backups, packages list, simple screen recorder. Okay. So then I think you can probably use that as open the backup tool if you reinstall, and it can install everything instead of going through the software center and doing it individually. So that's a pretty good idea. And also LMDE has the USB image writer and stick formatter in there. System monitor. Wow. 2.6 gig of memory. That's the highest this computer's ever been. That's pretty high. So I don't know why that's running so high. I'm recording, but I was doing that with EzeeLinux, and EzeeLinux was using 1 gig less, and I'm not doing any more than what I would have been on EzeeLinux, to be honest. So that's a fairly high usage there, considering it's Debian based. I'm a bit surprised about that. Very interesting. Have I got something running? I've got Firefox running, haven't I? Let's shut down Firefox, because I had 2 instances running there. Close all the tabs. And now it's coming down. Okay. 1.9 gig. That seems more reasonable. So that's the system resources. And they've got Celluloid here as a video player. Help about Celluloid. And it's a GTK front end for MPV. And we got Pix as well. About Pix 2.4.6. Redshift out of the box. Rhythmbox music player. And you've got online accounts as well. And plenty of them. So that was a quick look around Linux Mint Debian Edition 4. Debbie, I believe it's called. Looks quite good. Seems to be very stable. No issues at this point in time. So I hope you enjoyed the look around. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting and informative. And thanks for watching.